Hari Om to all the lovely Balakrishnas and Vivekanandas. I bow down to the Atma Jyoti, the divine light of the self in you. Let us continue our Mahabharata adventures. So we have seen so far that Pandavas were in the Lakshagruha and they escaped and they had so many adventures. They even got Draupadi and now they're back to Hastinapur. And then they were sent to be the kings in Indraprastha. Now they have come there. Now they have built a wonderful kingdom. And all the people in their kingdom are very happy. So at that time, Narada Muni comes to Pandavas and tells them, see, you are 5 people and you have 1 wife. So sometimes when, let's say, there's only 1 remote, and if, let's say, 2 of you are sitting, you and, let's say, your brother or sister is sitting and watching, both of you want to have the remote. I want to control. I want to control. So like that, sometimes it can become confusing. It can lead to quarrel. It can lead to maybe even fighting. So Narada Muni said, it is good if you have a way by which maybe every year 1 husband can be with Draupadi, and during that time, no other husband should disturb them. So all the Pandavas listened to the great Narada Muni and they felt that is a right suggestion. That way, they can harmoniously learn to live together. Just like how when we are living together in any place, whether it is in our home or in society or in a bus, we have to learn how to be harmoniously together. Otherwise, it can become very bitter. So they all felt it is a right way. So they agreed. So what happened once? This was the year when Yudhishthira and Draupadi are supposed to be together. And once Arjuna, some people came to him and they said, oh, there is one animal which is really troubling us and it is really, really frightful for us. Can you please come and help us? Can you shoo that away? So he said, okay, I will come. Because remember, his dharma, he is a Kshatriya and he had taken the oath to protect others. So he said, I am here for your service. So he said, wait, I'll get my bow and arrow that is inside the room. So he went to get his bow and arrow. And at that time, Yudhishthira and Draupadi were together. So he recalled that, what the advice Narada Muni had given. And Narada Muni had also said, if somebody violates this, you only agree. What is that the punishment should be? So they all had decided that if any one of the brother is with Draupadi and if the others violate that, then they will go away in exile and they will return back after they have cleansed. Because what they have done is a mistake. Because that is the rule they had set for themselves. But now Arjuna had to get the bow and the arrow because he had to help. But unfortunately, he also violated the rule. But anyway, he took the bow and arrow, he went and he helped those people and he came back. After coming back, he went to Yudhishthira and first and foremost, he apologized. He said, I'm really sorry that I did such a mistake. Yudhishthira said, don't worry at all. What you did is correct. You are not worried about whether you're violating this rule. You are interested. You are really looking to help those people. And I'm so proud that you are my brother. So don't worry. But Arjuna said, whatever may be the case, as per our own rules, as per our own commitments, I have to now go in exile. I have to be away from all this kingdom and being a king. And I have to live like a normal citizen of this country, and I will go and I will do some Tirtha Yatra. I will visit some places and I will come back. Though all the others said, it's okay, you've not done a mistake, Arjuna himself was bound to the statement he had made. So remember, a statement is not an ordinary thing. When you make a promise, it's not an ordinary word. You should make all the efforts to keep your word, to keep your promise. That was the feeling of all the Pandavas. So when Arjuna eventually said, I have to go, all the others also agreed. Because anybody else in his place would have done the same thing. That is the level of commitment. See, it is not like, one has to sign some paper to say, this is the promise I have made. But the very fact that with the full feeling I have said that was enough for Arjuna to say, I have to keep my promise. So he went into exile. So now he dressed up like an ordinary man and he went away from the Indraprastha. So first he met Ulupi. As he went deeper into one jungle, and through that he was near a river, there was this Nagakanya, Ulupi. And she completely fell in love with Arjuna. And she said, I want to marry you. But Arjuna said, no, I am already now here in exile. How can I be marrying you? Ulupi said, see, the promise you have made is to be away from Draupadi. But nowhere you have promised that you cannot marry. So Arjuna also contemplated. He also felt right. So then he married Ulupi. He lived with her for some time. And Ulupi gave him a boon that from now onwards, none of the underwater, let's say snakes or such creatures will ever harm you. So he got that boon. After some days, he took leave from her and he said, I will continue my journey. So then he went to a place called Manipura. There, the queen of that place, the princess of that place, Chitrangada, she was in a temple. And he went to the temple and he saw her and he fell totally in love with her. And he felt, oh, I have to marry her. So he went to the father of Chitrangada and he requested that I would like to marry. And the father, having understood the background of Arjuna, was very happy. But he said, I have one condition. And the condition is, my daughter is my only child. And after me, she alone can be the one who can take care of this. So even after she marries, she will have to remain here. Are you okay? Arjuna was okay with that condition. So he married Chitrangada. And through them, there was a child, Babruwahana. Later, much later after the Kurukshetra war, there is another interesting story between Arjuna and Babruwahana that I will tell later. But now, after many years, he again took leave from her. And now he went into another town where Krishna was there. Krishna came to know about arrival of Arjuna. And with all his people, he went to greet Arjuna. He was so happy. Arjuna and Krishna were best buddies, best friends. Krishna was very happy to receive Arjuna. Arjuna was equally elated. So he took him to the palace. He said, you've been traveling for many years now. He wanted to know all the places that Arjuna had seen and all the people he had met, all the adventures he had had. Arjuna was very excited in explaining all the things that he had seen and done. So you see, in Kannada, there is one Gade. So the Gade goes, Desha Sutti Nodu, Kosha Odikali. What it means is, your education is incomplete unless you've gone and seen and lived with others in different places and experienced their cultures and realized how they live. Because one is to know that all are divine, but to go and live among them and to experience that is a true value in your life. So that's why it is Desha Sutti Kali, meaning you roam around and be with different people in different situations and learn from them. That's the right way to learn, not just by sitting in front of the computer and reading about how people in, say, Manipura live, or how people in Andhra Pradesh eat. When you go to a village, let's say in Andhra, and you live with them, you'll have a first-hand experience. So like that, Arjuna had first-hand experience of having seen so many places. Now his mind was a lot more open to many others, to the way they lived, to their customs, to their traditions. He was so happy to be belonging to this place. So Krishna was very happy listening to all these adventures of his dear friend Arjuna. He said, yeah, you've had a wonderful travel and this is the right experience. One should have such experience in life. So like that, he told him and he greeted him and he asked him to rest. After many days, then Arjuna saw Krishna's sister Subhadra and he totally fell in love with Subhadra also. And Krishna said, you know, Arjuna, Subhadra would be a good match for you. But you know, there is one problem. My brother Balarama wants her to marry Duryodhana. And if at all, let's say there is a Swayamvara that happens, then I don't know who she may marry. So what I would suggest is you take her away and marry her. So even Subhadra was liking Arjuna. So one day when Subhadra was returning back from a temple, Arjuna went in the Ratha and took her and he took her away to a place and they had marriage in a temple. In those days, such a custom for Kshatriyas was accepted. And Subhadra willingly married him. But Balarama got angry listening to this because he wanted his sister to be married to Duryodhana. But then Krishna explained to him, see, look at the valor of Arjuna. He did not do anything wrong. This is as per the custom of the day. And Subhadra also went with him willingly. And isn't it great that now we are not only friends of Arjuna, but also our relatives of Arjuna? After listening to Sri Krishna's explanation, even Balarama was satisfied. So that is how Arjuna married Subhadra also. And later, from Subhadra, he will have a very valorous child called Abhimanyu. And that story I will tell you in another session. So like that, Arjuna, though he was in exile, he had wonderful adventures. He had a wonderful mind-expanding experiences. So this is where, my dear children, today I will end our Mahabharata story. We'll continue our adventure from here. Hari Om.